Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Hand of Fate 2. In the previous episode, we began the Star Challenge, where we learned we'll have to be dealing with a fair amount of curses this run-through. Thankfully though, we got lucky and managed to remove most curses. Unfortunately, we do still have the Dagger's Curse because we couldn't find a way to remove it. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you have managed to make it to the 3rd floor while getting the spiked bone guard and have the fame to equip it, do so now before moving anywhere on the 3rd floor. You'll see why in a moment.
Foursquare and solidly arranged.
As night falls, you hear the sound of digging coming from the cemetery. You spy a coven of mages with shovels. Steadfast, they dig until they hear a metallic clanking sound. They unearth a small disc. In the moonlight, you can almost distinguish a pattern on its surface. You crouch behind a gnarled oak and wait to see what happens next.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their master. Well done. You continue to impress.
An apprentice arrives, laden with pies and cheeses. The mages make themselves comfortable and enjoy their graveyard snack. Let's sneak up on them.
The pendulum swings like a scythe, bearing hope or failure.
You lift a hunk of broken headstone above your head and launch it at the gravediggers. You manage to take out some of the mages before they have a chance to arm themselves. And now all we have to deal with is a horde of skulls. Which is not gonna be difficult. Granted, we don't have Kolbjorn with us, but that shouldn't matter. Oh, especially considering it's only 2 of them. Not gonna lie, when I saw Horde, I was expecting a lot more, like at least 5. But, oh well, doesn't matter. At least we didn't have to deal with the Necromancer. The battle resolved, you return your attention to the half-buried metal disc. You fall to your hands and knees and begin to dig. The Pentacle. This was about the time that I realized what these things were. Pentacle's Curse. Basically, what that would do is it would cause you to draw a curse card every new encounter, which is why you wanted to get rid of it as soon as is physically possible using the Spike Bone Guard. Because otherwise, you could end up drawing the curse that forces you to lose equipment every time, every time you draw a new curse. See how bad that could be? Let's explore a little more, see what we can find.
I'm not a vain man. You must appreciate that this game, has been my focus for more years than I can count. I have a certain pride regarding its twists and turns.
Well, unfortunately I stopped it a little too early. You see soil moving on a fresh grave. A hand bursts forth and clings to your ankle. As it digs free, a horde of undead follow. Yeah, should have just left when I had the chance. Oh well. Looks like we're getting 2 fights for the price of 1. But as you know, prioritize the shade. Skeletons, go for the shade, that is the priority here. Shade's dead, all that's left is the skeletons. Okay, that could have gone a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna take some time to heal up with food. Let's see. Scorched Blade. Ooh, not a bad weapon, but I think I'll stick with Thonar's Talons. But I will buy a little extra food to make up for what I just spent.
Will
perfect.
not last. He lacks strength. By the time our tale is told, he's probably already lost.
A little devil with a broken horn slouches on a tree stump in a dark forest. While glum, he appears harmless, so you approach him with only a little caution. My father banished me from the underworld because he thinks I'm not evil enough. Apparently my curses are just too weak. Do you know any curses? Yeah, here you go. His face lights up when you give him your curse. That's one evil curse! Thank you, adventurer. Please, take this small gift. Well, that makes up for what I just spent. And finally gets rid of that dagger curse.
They have begun an inquisition, yet it is too late now.
You cross paths with a party of Empire's soldiers. The commander stops to interrogate you. You there, what do you know about these portals? The commander scrutinizes your face. Why, you're the mercenary you saved Westwind. The soldiers are suitably impressed. The commander bows and allows you to continue on your way. Yeah, if you don't have enough fame, I'm actually not sure what happens, but it can't be anything good.
Healing in a place like this always carries a price.
Well, unfortunately, I have no curses for her to remove. In her case, you can ask her to remove a curse, but it will cost you fame. Of course, let's see. We've seen the Cunning Man, we've seen the Platinum card, we've seen Little Devil. We've seen her. That means we're all out of curse removal, if I recall correctly. Well, I can buy some information, see what she knows. That's useless. But, oh well. One less card we have to go to. Oh, Thomas the Ogre. Alright, let's see if we can't get some good equipment off of him. I'm not going to be using Kolbjorn for this. Not even if I'm that close. Because the portal is coming up soon.
That will set you in good stead from here.
I will take this. But I'm not going to be equipping it because we're going to be fighting Corrupted soon. Don't know if I mentioned it, but there is actually an achievement for beating all of his games in one visit. Yeah, Holy Relic. Not sure if I've shown that one off.
Once I was the greatest of the mages. Few there were in those days. I sought only to serve, and thus I came to the throne of life and death.
What used to be a lavish monastery has taken a major hit from a recent raid. A monk laments, "It's a shame about the missing gold, but it's an even greater tragedy that they've stolen our holy relic. You volunteer to search for the raiders." Well, in that case, I might want to switch over to a one-handed deal. Kolbjorn runs his hands through the grass behind the monastery. They went that way. As he cuts through the forest undergrowth, a sprawl of coins is revealed, presumably dropped by the raiders. Sweet. Let's try and take the stealthy approach. Ouch. Oh well, that's why I switched over to a sword and shield. As usual, we are going to prioritize the shaman because she can heal them.
No respect for holy ground and holy sites. This is why they must be strict.
Okay, there goes their healer. And holy hell is this doing a lot of damage on riposte against these guys. Alright, took a little more damage than I probably should, but meh. Still probably went better than it would originally. You haul the stolen items back to the monastery. The monks grab the carved sapphire hat from you as soon as you return. The holy relic! Oh, this is worth far more than gold to us, so please, take the rest as your reward. Score. Now, you can try to alert the authorities, and they will react depending on your fame. Now, let's cook some more food up. Let's see what we got in terms of equipment. Law and order. Yeah, it's only really going to be useful against thieves, which I don't think I'm going to be dealing with. Alright, I guess in that case, let's move on. Switch back to Thunar's Talons. Take on the portal. You haul yourself over neglected hedges to find a dilapidated manor house covered in vines. A red glow emanates from the cellar windows. Well, let's seal the portal. The front door gives without much resistance. Nature has reclaimed what was once a luxurious residence. Floors buckled by tree roots, walls covered in green moss, floorboards creak ominously beneath your feet. 10 steps from the cellar door, you pray the floor doesn't give out. Oh, just enough. You walk cautiously to the cellar door and proceed down the stairs. A hellish vortex fills the space below the manor. You feel the heat of the mage's disc through your satchel. Monsters claw their way out of the seething portal. Juggernaut, Affliction, and Blight. In the turmoil, the disc clatters to the ground. The portal draws it in and consumes it. The portal heaves, bathing you in arcane energy. With a blinding explosion, it disappears into oblivion. If I recall correctly, the Juggernaut should just be a beefed-up version of the Terror. But I could be wrong, considering things have changed. Abomination. Corruption layered on top of corruption. A nightmare made of sickness and disease. Use Bash to break the Terror's armor and defeat them with a finisher before it regenerates. Yeah, that looks like it's the case. And Affliction is just beefed up regular corruption. Well, beyond that little attack. In the sense that all their attacks are undodgeable. And the sense that it takes more than one finisher to take them down. Thank you, invincibility frames. Well, that was kind of underwhelming. Got through that without a scratch. Well, unfortunately, we no longer have a means of removing curses, at least not as far as I recall. You may want to consider using the Fate's Well or Forgotten Realms so that you can have a chance at getting one of those curse removal encounters again, but keep in mind that, well, there is a risk of gaining a curse in the process.
If I was weak, it was the weakness of pride. Time has shown that to be well-founded, however.
You walk along the seashore on a dark, stormy night. A lone gull squawks overhead. Drowned out by the crashing of the waves and rumble of the sky, a coven of mages chants something low and ominous. Dark clouds gather overhead as a mage raises a scepter to the heavens. With a crash, lightning strikes the scepter. The mage falls down, dead. The chanting increases in fervor as another mage steps up to heft the scepter skyward. As you approach, the mages move to make space for you. Ah, another believer seeking the scepter's hot light. Whatever he was going to say next is cut short by lightning and his subsequent death. Scepter's Curse. Lose 4 fame before every encounter. This is a dangerous one, primarily because, well, most equipment relies on having fame. If your fame drops before you can A, get rid of this, or B, reach the end of this floor, you're not going to have a whole lot to work with for the boss fight. Because of course there's going to be a boss fight. Another mage takes the scepter, but instead of raising it to the sky, he presses its cold metal into your hands. Coven watches you expectantly. Can't imagine making a run for it's going to be very good for our health. Neither is lifting it to the night sky, but it seems we don't have a choice. You squeeze your eyes shut and raise the scepter over your head. Lightning strikes the scepter, and a white light fills your vision. Energy courses up your arm. Your very insides feel like they're aflame. Well, at least it was nothing permanent. Then, it's over. The light fades and you find the remaining mages scattered across the beach. You think them dead until one, half submerged on the shoreline, raises an arm weakly. The mage wheezes some final words. Do not... He coughs his final breath approaches. Do not throw the scepter into the portal. Whatever you do. No, we don't have much of a choice, pal. Alright, I'm gonna cook up a bunch of food just to get my health back. Let's see what's for sale. Still Law and Order, so either we've run out of equipment cards or it just hasn't refreshed. I don't know why I looked at that again. Not going to have much more use for gold, so I'm going to buy some extra food to make up for what I just spent. And we have, unless something happens, which I certainly hope not, plenty to finish the quest with. Now let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. That would take us down to 16 fame. Is there anything we have that requires more than that? 10 fame, 10 fame, 5 fame, and 9 fame. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Unless it also counts backtracking for the curse, which I don't think it does because none of the other curses did. Oh, a general store. Ooh, Lionheart would be useful, just in case I get into a bad situation. Let's see, Dark Thirst. That requires no fame. Though, if I recall from a guide I read, there isn't any corrupted in the final fight, surprisingly enough. I think. Let's see, Shield of Aegel. Gain plus 10 max life while equipped. Not bad. Ward of the Innocent. Map reveal. Reveal 2 random encounter cards at the start of a new map. Well, that's not going to help us. I think I'm going to have to pass on the Dark Thirst and instead take the Lionheart. Because being able to heal that...
A salve for the weary and strength for the heroic.
...is going to be very, very useful. Toshers. A noxious smell alerts you to an oncoming group of Toshers, led by a short, stumpy woman with an eye patch. Eye Patch Eve, they call her, and although they dress in greasy drabs, her fingers are adorned with exquisite rings and their pockets are deep with gold. Look at this, princess. I bet they've never done a day's dirty work. What do you say? Fancy eking out a bit of coin? Tides are coming. Better get in there quick, princess, says Eye Patch Eve as one of her consorts lifts a lid off of a manhole. As you and the Toshers come splashing down and your boots soak up the muck, you feel something at the bottom of the putrid subterranean river. Huh. Looks like I might get it anyways. You plunge your hands into the rancid water to pull it out. Just barely. Seems to be the case. You fish out the trinket, doubtful it's worth such torment. Oh, I don't know about that. The sewer walls tremble. Time to surface, she shouts as the Toshers lift themselves out of the gutter. You pull out just as the tunnel floods. And that's another fragment for us. Might actually see what those do by the end of the game. In by the Sea, Band of Thugs, Duel, Fabled Beast. Yeah, I don't think we need this. We don't need any of those. The Duel is just for fame, which is redundant at this point. Band of Thugs, maybe some equipment, I don't know. In by the Sea is some equipment, but I don't think we need it. And Fabled Beast is food, which we don't need.
And now we come close to the rough beast, slouching towards its birth.
A red glow betrays the location of the final portal. A dilapidated barn on a long abandoned farm. Let's close that portal. The portal churns as the others did, but expels no corrupted minions. I think I'll switch to the Scorched Blade in that case. The Mage's Scepter trembles in anticipation until it flies from your hand and hurtles into the portal. With great turbulence, the portal disappears, discharging all its power. Tremors rock the barn, forcing you outside for safety. A distant summit erupts with energy, bathing the sky in red light. You doubt it's a coincidence. The summoning. Okay, let's make sure. We're at full life. We've got our Scorched Blade, our Shield, Lion Heart, which is the only artifact we actually have. Spike Bone Guard, the Lord's Diadem. And the Potion of Youth, which really doesn't do us anything. Okay, let's do this.
Here our paths cross for the first time. Did you know then that we would reach this moment now?
Probably not. You follow the ominous beam of light up the foothills to a summit overlooking the countryside. Yet another portal stands, surrounded by mages, necromancers, and witches. This one is much, much larger than the others. Flames dance at the edge of the maelstrom. We got a Shade, a Seer, and 2 of Arcane. A group of levitating mages begin to cast an incantation. The cacophony of the portal clashes with the roaring storm winds, until all you can hear is a deep and powerful heartbeat. As they chant something unintelligible, a decrepit arm extends from the fiery maelstrom. A robed figure, its face obscured by a ragged hood, steps from the flaming portal to stand before the assembled mages. It rasps with a voice long unused. I have returned to reclaim my place at the table. A new era awaits. The mages and necromancers fall to their hands and knees in reverence. They fall into pious silence as he speaks again. For returning my objects of power, you will be rewarded. He leans heavily upon his staff and waves his arm. Gold and trinkets appear and clatter to the ground before him. Figure nods at his subjects and disappears in a burst of flame. Eventually, the mages realize they're not alone. Alright, as usual, we are going to prioritize the Shade first. Because otherwise it's just going to constantly steal health from us. Here we have our first instance of an Archmage. Their quest for power and knowledge will cost a sea of blood, if it must. Mages shoot projectiles from a distance. Use evade to avoid their attacks.
That's right. Something black enters the world.
Hey, no, stop targeting the mages. Oh, wait, no, it's not quite dead yet. Left is the Archmage, who, outside of leaving those traps on the ground, really isn't all that different from regular mages. Okay, well, that's that fight taken care of. I'm gonna be honest, the Star Challenge went a lot easier than I thought it would. Thankfully, mostly due to the luck. You search the bodies for anything of value, but cannot escape the question that echoes in your mind. Who, or what, have you unleashed here today?
We are bound now. The final moments approach, and with each moment accelerate.
For sealing the portals, we gain the Black Cauldron, Wine of the Gods, Ordeal by Iron. We also gain Arcane Edge, Meteor Strike, and Weave of the Protector. And all that is available to us, for now, is the Moon Challenge. But with that, we have come to an end for this episode of Hand of Fate 2. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw poll link in the description below to vote for our next Let's Play. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.